But the choir man goes a few lines down, sings the hymn. I hope you've sung this at some time. I hope your liturgies are wise enough to have included this great hymn of praise. Praise to the holiest in the height, and in the depth be praised, in all his words most wonderful, most sure in all his ways. O loving wisdom of our God, when all was sin and shame, a second Adam to the fight, and to the rescue came. O wisest love, that flesh and blood, which did in Adam fail, should strive afresh against their foe, should strive and should prevail. Most of the early heresies about the nature of Christ in the early church denied his full humanity rather than his full divinity. That flesh and blood should prevail against the devil. That was necessary. The last two lines, 8:11. O generous love, that he who smote in man, for man, the foe, the double agony in man, for man, should undergo. Wonderfully comedy of words by Jesus himself. You could print all the words that Jesus spoke in the Gospels on one side of a newspaper page. And no words have ever said more. Just a last remark about the need for purgatory. And then I'll open into questions, which is far more interesting than monologue. Talk about purgatory. Every monologue is a purgatory, but Catholics are very polite. They realize that in order to get to the heaven of question and answer, they have to sit through the purgatory of speech. So I'll shorten your purgatory. At 570, the righteous soul said, I looked forward to my purgatory. It was ever my solace to believe that ere I plunged amid the avenging flame, I had one sight of him to strengthen me. This is another theologumenon, or probable theological opinion, that you don't have to wait till heaven to get the beatific vision. You get it as soon as you die, a glimpse of it in purgatory, and that sustains you through purgatory. And the angel says, nor rash nor vain is that presentiment. Yes, for one moment thou shalt see thy Lord. That's the meaning of life. That's it. That's why Job was satisfied. Before he got his stuff back, God appeared to him. What could be better than that? One of the most wonderful verses in the Bible. Job's response to God, who answers none of his questions, just shows up. He says, now I know who you are, and now I know who I am. I am the man of empty-headed words. I had heard of you with the hearing of the ear, but now I see you, the seeing of the eye. What could be better than that? Suppose you never knew your father. Suppose he was out fighting terrorists in the Near East somewhere, and your mother said, he exists and he loves you, and he's writing all these letters to you, and she interprets the letters, and you love your father, but you've never seen him, and you want so much to see him. Well, your father is God, and your mother is the church, and the love letters of the Bible. And then suppose your father comes to the door one day and says, hi, I'm your daddy. What do? Do you demand that he explain exactly why he had to stay away? Don't you just rush into his arms? Well, that's what you'll do at death. 588, the angel says, very much like Catherine of Genoa's points, when thou dost, that sight of the most fair will gladden thee, but it will pierce thee too. Because when you see the perfection of God that you have offended in your sins, that is the most piercing thing in the world. You will see what T.S. Eliot in An Unforgettable Mind calls the notion of some infinitely gentle, infinitely suffering thing. The fact that he suffered for you will cause your spiritual suffering to diminish. You see, purgatory is not just a legal necessity. It's not just that you have to pay for your sins. Jesus did that. He finished it on Calvary. You have to internalize that. God won't stop short of the complete job. We want to stop short of the complete job. We all have something like ADD. I have ADD. I'm convinced that half the academics in the world have it. That's why we go into academia. But one of the features of ADD is that we're so distracted we don't finish jobs. We're good at starting them, but we're bad at finishing them. And unfortunately, life is our main job. So God will help us, and He will finish, even though we're adult. In 841, the angel shows that the essence of happiness both in purgatory and in heaven comes from Christ. Here's the Christocentrism coming out of the end. The angel says, "Praise to His name. The eager spirit has darted from my hold, and with the intemperate energy of love flies to the dear feet of Emmanuel." But ere it reached them, the keen sanctity with which its effluence and glory clothes and circles round the crucified has seized and scorched and shriveled it. The perfection of God. And now it lies passive and still before the old throne. Oh, happy suffering soul, for it is safe, consumed yet quickened by the glance of God. The safest place in all reality is in the wounds of Christ. I've said too much already. I will simply do myself a hook at this point and overcome the temptation to make some abstract philosophical points about the role of time and matter in the body, which are much too abstract. So I will ask instead for some concrete personal questions. Something much more important than questions is going to happen in this room. Music. But it's just a rehearsal, so we have to get out into the winter garden where I will